Have you ever really stopped to think about the most intimate space you occupy? I'm not talking about your house or your apartment, but the actual architecture of your mind. It's the most personal structure that's ever been built, and every single one is completely, totally unique. So, let's take a journey through a few of these internal landscapes. We're going to explore how these structures are built and, more importantly, what it actually feels like to live inside them. Our first stop is a place that can feel, well, muted. It feels heavy, almost like it's shrouded in something. And we're not just talking about being sad here. We're talking about a complete shift in how you perceive the world. Let's call it the gray veil. This phrase just captures it perfectly, doesn't it? This isn't a bad mood. It's a state of being where the world literally seems to lose its color. And it's not just that joy is gone. It's that it starts to feel like it was never even real in the first place. Just some temporary illusion. And it's so important to understand just how physical this all feels. Food can literally taste like nothing. Hobbies, things that used to bring you life, suddenly feel like exhausting chores. There's this constant, heavy pressure because your brain is physically struggling to generate the energy it needs to simply care. And underneath that feeling, there's a biological blueprint, It's basically a chemical and metabolic shutdown. The neural pathways for dopamine and serotonin, what some people call the molecules of hope, they just aren't firing the way they should. It's like the brain has gone into a low power mode to save energy from a world that just feels like too much. Okay, let's move from that quiet, heavy space to something entirely different. Imagine living in a building where the security system is always on, cranked up to the absolute maximum, a place we could call the eternal alarm. This is such a clear way to understand it. We all have a survival system, right? But with an anxiety disorder, that switch gets jammed in the on position. Your brain's threat detector, the amygdala, starts treating something like an unanswered email with the exact same level of urgency as a lion in the room. And your body is the one that pays the price. Your muscles are always tensed up, ready for impact. Your heart rate stays high. And the result of all that? Just a deep, profound exhaustion. You feel like you've been fighting a battle all day long, except the enemy never actually shows up. It's like being at war with a ghost. And this is such a critical point. This is not a choice. It's not a habit of overthinking. It is a physiological misfire. The nervous system literally loses its ability to tell the difference between a what if and a what is. That potential danger in the future feels just as real, just as immediate as a catastrophe happening right now. All right, for our final stop, we're going to enter an architectural space that is, well, it's just so deeply misunderstood from the outside. It's a world of non-stop motion and constantly shifting priorities. Let's call it the slippery focus. This idea completely reframes the whole conversation. See, ADHD is not about a lack of attention. It's actually more like an overabundance of it, but you have zero control over the focus style. The real issue is in the brain's executive suite, the prefrontal cortex, which is supposed to be in charge of directing all that focus. The experience is often described with this really powerful metaphor. It feels like someone else is holding the remote control to your brain and they're just constantly changing the channel. There's this painful gap between what you want to do and what you can actually get your brain and body to do. Even time itself feels different. It's slippery and unreliable. And it's all because the brain's reward system has a really hard time finding any value in tasks that aren't immediately interesting or stimulating. And that brings us to this huge, profound disconnect between how things look and how they feel. What the outside world might just write off as being lazy is, on the inside, a person putting in an incredible amount of effort, literally working twice as hard as everyone else just to keep up, just to stay in the room. So we've walked through three very different architectures, right? The gray veil, the eternal alarm, and the slippery focus. But as different as they feel, they all share one common foundation. And this is it. This is the single most important takeaway. These experiences are not failures of will. They're not personality defects or character flaws. They are conditions rooted in the literal structure, the chemistry, the wiring of the brain. They are features of the architecture, not a defect in the person who lives there. And that really leaves us with a final question to think about. Once we start to understand the blueprint of another person's mind, once we can really see the architecture they have to navigate every single day, how does that change how we show up for them? how does it change the very bridges of empathy and support that we try to build?